I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
like everybody remain standing. Seconds, and then take a moment of silence. In the event of what happened 23 years ago. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Councilman Monday. Councilwoman Graves here. Councilman Garland
Here.
Councilman Carr here. Councilman Knight. Here. Approval of minutes for August 14th, 2024. Okay. Discussion. Roll call please. Councilman McGraw.
Yes.
Councilman Graves. Yes. Councilman Monday. Councilwoman Carr. Yes. All right, next on our agenda, the first public hearing. I'd like to public hearing for the 2025 budget. All.
Good. 0101 general budget estimate. $1,163,089. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $2,006,000, $6,429. Excess levy appeal $0. Current tax levy $1,913,182. Levy percentage difference 44.87. Fund name 0706 local road and street. Budget estimate 32,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $0. Excessive levy appeal $0. Current tax levy $0. Fund name 0708 motor vehicle highway. Budget estimate $461,983. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $337,198. Excess levy appeal $0. Current tax levy $330,994. Levy percentage difference 1.87%. Fund name 1303 park. Budget estimate $116,112. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $114,199. Excess levy appeals $0. Current tax levy $112,640. Levy percentage 1.38%. Fund name 2391 cumulative capital development. Budget estimate $260,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $225,457. Excessive levy appeals $0. Current tax levy $231,061. Levy percentage -2.43%. Fund name 2411 economic development income tax credit. Budget estimate $135,200. Maximum estimate funds to be raised $0. Excessive levy appeals $0. Current tax levy $0. Fund name 6290 cumulative sewer. Budget estimate $13,000. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $11,273. Excess levy appeal $0. Current tax levy $11,553. Levy percentage -2.42%. Fund name 6402 trash sanitation operating. Budget estimate $193,755. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $0. Excessive levy appeal $0. Current tax levy $0. Fund name 9506 redevelopment tip general. Budget estimate $1,375,600. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $0. Excessive levy $0. Current tax levy $0. Fund name 9507, redevelopment operation, budget estimate 205,276. Maximum estimated funds $0, excessive levy appeal $0, per tax levy $0. Fund name 9509, park non-reverting operation, budget estimate $5,000, maximum funds to be raised $0, excessive levy appeal $0, current tax levy $0. Fund name 2510, local law enforcement, continued education, budget estimate $9,000, maximum estimated funds to be raised $0. Excessive levy appeal $0, current tax levy $0. Fund name 9515, ARP coronavirus local fiscal government grant, budget estimate $217,443. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $0, excessive levy appeal $0, current tax levy $0. Fund name 9525, local road and bridge grant, budget estimate $655,874. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $0, excessive tax levy $0, current tax levy $0. 9541, county DUI grant funds, budget estimate $4,500. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $0, excessive levy appeals $0, current tax levy $0. Fund B 9559, Operation Pullover Grant, budget estimate $7,500, maximum estimated funds to be raised $0, excessive levy appeals $0, current tax levy $0. Total budget estimate $5,855,481. Maximum estimated funds to be raised $2,694,556. Excessive levy appeals $0. Current tax levy $2,599,432.
All right, public comments for? Public comments for? In regards to the budget, Public comments against? Close public hearing. Opening a public, right? Opening a public hearing for additional appropriations. Please prepare your materials.
Resolution related to additional appropriation for police per prior year's service. Whereas the proper officers of the town council of First Harbor, Polk County, Indiana, have determined that it is now necessary to appropriate more money to the calendar year 2024 than the amount that was fixed in 2024 budget, and finally determined the annual budget for the Indiana Code 6-1.1. And whereas notice was given to the public in accordance with IC 6-1.1-18-5A and IC 5-3-1-2B for a public hearing on the proposed additional appropriation. The public hearing was held on September 11th of 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Board of Council regarding the same. Therefore, be it ordained by the town council of First Harbor, Polk County, Indiana, that need now exist for additional appropriation for the amount of funds named and for the purposes specified, subject to the laws of the state. Fund name general, major budget classification, personal services 2-127, total $104,256. Fund name county economic development income tax, major budget classification, personal services 1-124, total $104,256. Duly adopted by the members of the First Harbor Council on September 2024.
Public comments for? Public comments against? needs to be. You voted on, so I don't know. To get that hearing.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution related to an additional appropriation fees per prior year service.
Second. Second. Roll call, please. Councilwoman Bozick.
Yes.
Councilwoman Graves.
Yes.
Councilman Rowe.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Reports. Nicole.
We are, that's currently working to make that the Republican state after they have. That is one of the findings after the last audit. We are currently working on our new living policy, which is actually required, making it code 511-6. Other than that, everything is smoothly,
What is time? When? Weird or something. Well, primarily, I'm here to report on the CCMG project. The contractor, now this is for Reed Riley. So Reed Riley has a contract for this project. Just a little background on this project. The town, the state of Indiana has a program where towns and cities can request a grant to work on their streets. So our charter had previously applied, awarded the grant. Basically, what that means is for every dollar that is spent on the streets under that contract, 75 cents of that is state, and then 25 cents of that. So it's a very good deal for this. So that project was previously approved, the funds have been allocated. So the pay request that was sent in for that's what we talk about the change order, because you can like go back to my email. So the project also came in over budget. Now there is a tiny bit of work left to be done on the strike Agnew Road. That's gonna be part of the change order, and I didn't even look at the change order, so but I'll go over it. So basically, I went through the quantities and totaled them up and added. There was railroad striping that was done on Backpack Road, and then you want to do some other striping on Peg. So
Is the striping, sorry, is the striping just gonna be middle or middle and ends, or just ends?
or my budget number was middle and side.
Okay.
So that's the number that I have here. Meaning, so we're under, this change order has a negative dollar amount of $96,696.50. Now, I do have to do like a little final reckoning, so I would imagine that is very close. I mean, in fact, it might be a little bit under, a little bit more under, because I haven't done that spread yet, so I don't have an exact number of the spread.
Okay.
But we are under, so a portion, some of that money that the state previously gave, will then get sent back to the state.
And then also we asked for a time extension to do that additional, put in a culvert on Agri Road, and then also to construct it. The substantial amount of work was finished. So the contractor had previously, said, we have a so that's what this change order is for. I brought with me 2 copies signed by local contractor and me. So I would ask that you approve the change order. To, again, that will give the contractor that's right, okay. And then also, then once you do that. So, I don't know if you need a motion there.
I'll make a motion to approve the change order.
Question?
Today, over 75. One thing left to perspective.
Roll call, please. Councilwoman Graves. Councilman Colbeck.
Yes.
Councilman Hart.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilwoman.
Oh.
Yes. Sorry.
I didn't make.
I got
the one at least.
Okay, thank you for that. And then I do have that letter that I wrote before, so I'll read it out loud. Regar Construction has submitted the attached invoice number 3. And then there's the invoice number that was at 64160 for the amount of $220,814.76. That is the 10% retainage of we will retain it to the end of the contract to make sure there are any consequences. So there will be getting another invoice that will include that retained amount. And then in this letter, I give a breakdown of the streets on which there's 10 locations, so I'm not gonna read all the numbers, but it assigns, the dollar amount that is spent on each street. So, I would ask that you make a motion to pay that invoice. I don't know. Need the invoice number again, or need the total? It's paid application. For construction. I'll give you that dollar amount again. It is $220,814.76. And I will captain the amount. If you have any questions for me about this, just see me. That's it. Any discussion? Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilwoman Graves. Yes. Councilwoman Colbeck.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hart. Yes.
Building commissioner, Joe, there you are.
Including report to you on.
Yep.
I do have some things. In regards to, running to Salt Lake Road. I gave a report and commission. That situation. Like these are, leave out first, so it makes more sense. That's just one copy. They all take that to you, so they can look at this. The pictures they talk.
Is. For Mr. Nyack, is that
Yes,
correct?
yes.
She's here today. Did you ever make contact after not showing up to the plan?
So, and then he was going to be take care of that. It's a stick friend old house, they built this road. And he got the wood and rafter carriage on both sides. of the Property. Which makes it look very unstable, very decent. Probably there. Prevent that. But the drawings that I did there were, you don't understand where I'm talking about, where it was cut from me, why that's not supported. And so I definitely recommend making that number of building. It's not going to show up to the commission meetings or supposed to, and he didn't take care of this. He's given the printout of all the contractors that are on the so and on the contract, and let him know where the meeting has changed maybe the qualification for all of those things. And they be able to do it. And then if you want to see that also prior to the chronological history, the violation of that 2009.
That's what you've been dealing with this party for a very long time.
So what are our options with this now? I mean,
And
he
he
has
has
stopped work orders, we can't work, but it doesn't change the fact that there's unsafe.
No.
Sitting. So what, and we're,
There was something set up with the plan, right? If you were supposed to show up. At the plan commission meeting, is that correct?
yes,
Every couple months with an update, or every other month update, is that what you can see you that right?
I've been involved in the Joe. Yes, he met him out at the property previous to the plan commission meeting. Requested, did help him, there was set up. Stay there, when I was told that the plan commission meeting was going to be already. School Hall, thank you, and he has the address. With that plan commission, he brought all this information to the plan commission. Yes, and as you stated, we begin with this, building was unsafe, and I believe those, research as far as.
But I highlighted those copies.
You highlighted, you asked the question, what can we do with this? This is the, ordinance, what we do with unsafe buildings. That's what he's asking. See what.
We had started.
Right.
Prior. Property. Have time to bring it up. Here.
And your best is not.
I don't even see it. I just, wow. Thank you. Feel your control.
And he did work on the building for stop over. Now we think that it will. We will work about permanent now. Actually, they really.
Just know that condemning the property in that game is not what we're. That.
Process. Process being evaluated through our ordinance. Council advising. And we can bring it back with the. Soon as possible.
That's.
There you go.
There is, any discussion?
So
Now we can discuss.
so that would be all. Then. Additional line.
Councilman Briggs. Councilman Bozak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to ask the council if possible to.
Yes, you bring those.
Yes, I did. Okay. I will do it. They were asking, like I said,
Perfect.
those are the ones that-
Oh, there. Sorry.
Some of
He's not. Good for both here, that's correct.
no, so one is that there's also.
Okay. Yeah, okay. There you go. Could you just give, I'm not sure who was going to point out or I think right now, and right over here, can you give them an update on what's going on with the?
We had a bad, heat problem. This led to, opening up and side. And at that time. Estimates from some contractors. Inside and outside. We're looking at.
Everything talking to new complex.
That's the building, that's why we're here now.
Oh, like to build a new one?
Yes.
Across the street?
Yes.
Not at this time, it's on hold.
Okay.
That's gonna cost a lot of money. And
Sure, we can find it.
well, we also have other things that money as well.
We were discussing that concept plan before, that was when we were holiday property. But they then pulled out of the project after. Changed all that, and the cost is like 4 times what it was when we were looking at it in 2017. So a lot of projects that we worked on back then, I mean, obviously things are a long process to get through. The cost. I know you won't remember the cost of everything's crazy high. But with the goal, we are talking about what other options we have. To accommodate.
Or a lot of. Building right now needs to be litigated with the whole. And that's what we topical for twenty to go through. We have worked with one company there, I think, the previous time. They are running the company for license. They are. No, they were.
What was the reason why third growth so much less than the other? I know it wasn't any known.
Yeah, that's something, that's another reason why I'm trying to use the other one, because it goes slow, that can break down, especially with the narrative. Don't think break everything down. And it was kind of the only. I mean, there's a breakdown. But there's the line. So, as well as, verbally, before we remove portion off the name. Take care of removing furniture, chairs and tables and stuff out of there. That's not what we want to do.
Are we already the other companies we will be doing business in the town that you're looking for?
So, yeah, something very small first. Nothing that's panic.
Looking for it now.
Again, that's addressing the three exterior wall. And it's just the molding. Closet, family.
Lights, so,
And so.
Right.
We have barricade, stash, and third growth. We have ESG.
They can definitely the aircraft.
That's just what you're gonna hold back there.
Your sample test.
That was included in the original price of the neighbors. We come out and we speed testings. I had them do testings. Complex. Office. Experience. Back and down. Look like that would be possible. Based off of the readings.
There have been more American. Like, well, and part of that is state that you're going to actually have to. To be tested.
what was that last?
I just want to make sure that our attorney brought up about retesting it after they're all done, making sure that all that they give us a price on that, that price is not included on this, but I made a motion to approve this, so the work can get done. And then that's
Yes, you know, you come back.
Because you can come back and test or for American.
America would come back and test. Well, I don't believe they can test it. Well, they do the remediation. They cannot, as a company, they cannot come back and test what their work is. It has to be an outside source. So I think
That's two separate motions then.
right. And that, right, and I'll just leave it at to accept Americans,
Yes.
to do the work. On all buildings.
I will second for the.
Okay.
Make sure we change the content.
Any other discussion? Roll call please. Councilman Graves.
Yes.
Councilman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve, yes, you can come back and after American test, retest, yes.
Second.
Roll call please. Councilman Bowman.
Yes.
Councilman Graves. Yes. Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Yes.
Kind of like go on to.
Brandon.
The evening, the evening, brother, from Brandon.
I just got a couple of things, we got leaf pickup coming up in October, that will begin on Tuesday, October 22nd. And we'll go through Tuesday, December 10th. Weather permitting and, depending on how many leaves are still in the trees, we'll extend that. And then, we'll also have a spring leaf pickup date, it'll be 1 day pickup. That we scheduled later on. We're gonna be getting to our street sweeping here shortly. The details are getting finalized. We expect to have that sweeper Monday, September 30th. or Friday, October 4th. Dates and streets in which will be swept and posted on the town website 1 week prior to give everybody time to park somewhere else other than the roadways.
Are you trying to give? Facebook.
Yeah, all our
Like, I
social
just
media.
wanted to, like, the plan,
Are you gonna-
kind of like, you know, that.
Yeah, I'll have no parking signs out, okay, it doesn't mean not parking in front of just a sign, that's the roadway.
You are going to use your sign. Or use our sign.
Yeah, our sign, I have orange posts. that are on,
Okay, Scott, right here.
Touch point, banner, whatever we got.
You're every year.
Yeah, every year, spring and fall.
And people. Well, not mine, but.
Brush collection, pick up beginning on Monday, November 11th. Unless we have some nasty storm later on the year, we'll come out and take care of that. But on November 11th on Monday, that.
You work Veterans Day? I do.
I'm not sure.
It's not a town holiday.
I know that's what.
I have to come to work.
So you got to be here on Veterans. We had a tree on the pool road on Sunday, September 1st, fall. It was a big tree, high hazard, power lines. Our department had closed down the section of the road. Until I had approval from the council, we, take care of it as an emergency cleanup. So Friday, September 6th, Justin, please take care of it. They did a good job, always do a good job for us, so that's happy presenting us. As for the big portion of the trail, construction continues, we're trying to clean it up, get it kind of ready for the future trail opening. So that's happening. I will be looking into some part-time snowplow drivers for this month. Snow funds here.
I'm not gonna do that. Look at it, now they don't wanna look. Really nice, right?
Let's see. I also spoke with Ray Ann from Cleveland Plus. The letter of intent was not denied for some trail equipment donations. She will be contacting me over next week.
Not denied.
Not denied, it went through, the letter was good. But, we need that equipment, it will help us a lot. For maintenance. Message sign is up and running and we moved around town, when we have town bit. Or we believe that's September 22nd, at 3 p.m. We're just invited, come on out.
I'm thinking of happy picnic.
Yeah, we're gonna get to know each other, talk, eat, have fun, have fun. In front of you, I have a quote for a new backhoe that council is going to get some numbers on. As you guys know, our backhoe is not doing so hot. It's an important piece of equipment for our department. So I was asked to get a base price and then also some financing prices. That'll be in the back of the quote. You guys looked over and. I'll get the question now. Yeah, that's just that's the basic, basic model. That's the one that we have now that does everything we need to do.
They got those spare backhoe later on.
Yeah, they were giving us lease options, but they wanted hours, months. I can't do that because I don't know. I don't know that. Anything happened or anything. So I got the loan plans and the borrowing amount and base price. That's all in the back here. Quote.
Fair warranty.
Oh, I would assume so.
I see that on that page, so it says, yeah. There's. Okay, so excuse my ignorance of knowing what these parts are, but does that warranty cover all the important things that need to be covered?
I do believe so, yes, I do, yes.
Okay.
I've never brought a backhoe before.
The.
Me either, but
Say engine or transmission or anything like that talks about.
it's power, that's the power grade for the power and working on it, I call
Okay,
it. But like this, I again, it's important to use it for everything, road salt, trees. I mean, and there's certain things on it that are unsafe. So that is something to look at.
Is this something that, like, we have to order and it takes like 6 months to get? Or is,
I could have those answers, some
Okay.
possible stock.
I mean, I feel like this is something we could, so. Yeah, so. Yeah,
You sit on it, and
Yeah.
we'll talk more, I'll email and give you more stuff that comes.
okay,
yeah, if you can find out too more about the warranty, because there's not a lot of verbiage on the paperwork about the warranty. Like, it says, 12 months,
Yeah,
but, are you able to extend warranty after that, is there more than 12-month option, because, 113, that's when everything breaks. So, those kind of things,
Right.
there's just not a lot of information on.
absolutely.
All the small print.
Yep, I just wanted to start the process off by showing you the price, some financing options.
And you said it's the same as what you have.
It's the same, but yeah, I know previous ones didn't include back, but it's an essential piece. If we ever need it, we have it. But like I said, it's the same 416C machine we had on the shop.
Okay, so size wise, there's.
Size wise, buck size dumps.
Okay,
And last but not least, our department hours have changed from 6 to 2 to 7 to 3 now. Due to sunrise and that's our fall hours, so. That, you guys have nothing for me there.
one thing I had to let you know. We're not going to do the trail opening on the 22nd. We're decided to push that out a little bit because we had, more time to get everything ready. So we're gonna push that, we're gonna shoot for October 19th and do it for the trunk or treat. So we can get together to talk about the planning for that and what all, we need to get the trail up to snuff.
Yeah, it gives us a little-
Yeah, now we're gonna do it all through, we don't do that much.
You have it this time.
We're thinking around 4:30, because the trunk or treat starts at 5:30, so we do it an
So
hour.
it's the same day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do it an hour, the hour before, and any place that we move over.
Oh, yeah.
Commercial, hearing. Let's hear everybody.
You have my report is, the only thing I'll say, we've had a clear uptick in crashes. Last month was probably our 3-month high at 11. I've taken that many myself in the 11 days of this month. I think the fire chief can agree that it's been at its worst. When we're having to land helicopters on US Highway 20 in the middle of the night, it's probably not good for anybody. So encourage everybody to drive safely. Other than that, Officer Grant Potter, our newest hire, he's knee deep in field training and we're moving forward every day with him. I did speak at the police commission meeting about the request to entertain a resolution that would allow our police department to have a petty cash fund. We're the only department in this town that has a clerk that doesn't have a petty cash fund. So if you guys are okay with that, I'll forward the documentation I have for the town attorney so that
Yes.
that can be considered. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing, it's not on the agenda. The only thing I was gonna say is, I don't know if anything needs to be done as far as the election, but if that room is not going to be. I think waiting to your next meeting in October to be notifying the election board that. Maybe we need to be here, not there. Might be something to get ahead of it.
Well, that normal election here.
Right.
Remember here. But you're gonna have voting machine here.
Have a meter,
That's,
and we can't use the garage either. Voting machines?
You're not having voting.
No.
No,
but you
you're
can
in the.
hear and stay.
No, this room's locked. I can't do it.
I mean, we're like kicking your vehicle out.
I would suggest the person. That they have our contact. Yeah, that one's not gonna be available for. Election.
I don't think it'll.
It's that address. You don't want people going to vote at 6 a.m. out front. There's a franchise. Next time. Police car, all that stuff. That address. If you find out that. This. That's what you.
you get it, you know, how long it takes.
That's what we, that's what we.
So the whole we might take hold of meetings. See what they want.
I guess residents, there might be a change in the voting venue. Keep in mind.
That's the voting.
Yeah, we have a part of the house, you know, they call me. That really is impossible. Yeah. The only issue is here is.
Welcome.
Trucks.
Yeah, you're like that.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Alright, Ryan.
Thirty-three calls of emergency service in the month of August, that's about half of what we ran in July. It was a little bit quieter on our end, but we had about 305 hours, like donated from volunteers and the training. All the time. I'm not gonna take too much time here, but I did forward you guys an email in respects to the ambulance, and other offer giving of the ambulance. I'm not sure if you guys all saw that. I do apologize if I did not.
I do apologize. Yeah.
I will say that I would love to get out of the ambulance sales business.
You're doing a really good job.
Well, with this offer, it might be down the road more of a headache for me because it involves like neighboring. The first.
Oh.
So that being said, the first offer wasn't justifiable because it wasn't in government. This one is, and it's. So. Like I can crossing ski with it, I gotta print out a video of that stuff. Okay, I won't bring it up. Yeah. The recommendation is, please give this some real thought and interview and move forward with it. And the longer we sit on this thing, the more value we're losing it.
This offer have a deadline.
Yes, it does 48 hours after it's issued. To have a response, not a decision.
The board's too, it's too sweet. Firefighters.
Was everyone supposed, this is.
Everyone was going to take one of those.
Yes,
I'm gonna count you guys. I guess you don't want to look at it.
Well, you found it play.
I saw the numbers.
I was looking for.
Oh, God.
And it comes back and I get like-
So the only thing with this, since it's another government. Is to have a written resolution to say the same thing that we're selling a piece of equipment, this, the number. So, that they have to have a resolution in their first.
And this is our highest.
Yeah, and it was higher by 20,000 than our previous.
And the included items are still with it, I know that there was some. But,
Yeah, those things are staying.
I just don't know if they're expecting there to be some things included. But they expected to be.
I would like to entertain one of the people who accept this offer. With the stipulation that the state's ready to bring it up.
we, set the offer. And just sort of places talk about it, and we take out. Also, grant the clay, they work with their attorney.
So just to clarify, that your board of college. I have to prepare. There. That.
Oh, we would have to contact them, we have 48 hours for this.
Ryan, if you want to contact me, copy of that.
I've taken this truck in the morning, down to Don Hadley. He works through GM, Chevy, Ford, Dodge, all of them that in the dealerships, and they took pictures of the season, sent it across the country. And while we did get other offers, they just the same type of so there was other interest, but it was but nothing given.
Any other discussion? Roll call please. Councilman Williams. Yes. Councilman Williams. Yes. Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Graves. Yes. Councilman. Yes.
And Ryan, this. So.
They are extremely anxious.
Or,
Yeah, well, let us, if we need to have a meeting, that they can't wait for them. We just have to notify, put a notice out for the hours.
Possibly right. Sure, I'm not even giving anything else for us.
I do have, to go over that.
Sanitation, Adam.
Good evening, everyone. So, we had emergency repair, we have a water on 3 Street, 516. That hasn't been repaired, and the American Water, water through is picking up approximately, invoices for them. I've submitted the invoices for the rejection and for the road repair. We haven't cut into the road for full section. So we did have an emergency call on the station 2 simple fixes required to check out the quickly. All cleaning is getting ready to start. We're going to put all that in services 2 days in October. Get all the stations cleaned out and slide out the bottom. And just the belly and the front. Carol Creek twice a year, and I think I got something on. I would get it forward, we're gonna get that. Well, forward, and from that also, I believe there was a third complaint. Well. Stormwater plant 1250 Cole Street, me, Brandon, Joe have been working on that. So we'll get through the wait till during the order we get in depth in that. So, yeah. Wait a bit over 1250 Cole Street.
Just want to make sure that was.
Right. That's what the issue is, though, it's stormwater. What is the issue? So, water is kind of water not. So, other than that, that's all I have to report for sanitation and so on. One more thing, like there is a gentleman who is also wholeheartedly, he's still in intern in this department. I'd like to change that. Superintendent. Sanitation. Second.
Discussion. Roll call. Councilman Bozak. Yes. Councilman Hicks. Yes. Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Biden.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And if you would, do you have on your list, check this make sure that. Drive. Where it intersects with Fairchild. Yeah. It's wait. Sure. Just to make sure. Okay.
Can I ask a couple of questions about Homer Street? Or still on the topic?
Sure.
That's on 1247, 1248 code.
Yeah.
It's over it, it's supposed to drain it. What is the issue?
So that's exactly what we're gonna talk about in the word, so wait a few more minutes about that. Council, and
We can just,
you wanna do it now?
we can just cover it now.
Okay, I have a lot of other questions. Oh,
About the culvert situation.
well, a few other things.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
so,
let's just discuss the culvert situation now,
sure.
and then we'll get back to you, okay?
Alright, so we give an overview and then we'll dig into it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we received a complaint about water not receiving in a lot of, well, no. So we got the complaint on 27th, we got a rain event on the 27th. Brandon and I went out to inspect the area on 28th. We took a we took pictures and where there was some standing water, yeah, 28th, there was standing water filled in the drainage ditch that goes, I'm sorry, this back. So this is going to be basically north of 1250 Cohen Street and south of 1244. So that will forward.
That's my address.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's not us.
there was some standing water in that culvert. There was standing water in the at the end on the east end where the culvert is and goes under your driveway. So it's shed. South.
Yep.
So, all right, so we checked again on the 28th, I'm sorry, the 29th, did another inspection on it, the water in the east-west culvert was gone, but there was still standing water in the.
Right, really over.
East culvert.
Yep.
Correct. So,
Can I stop you right there?
let me finish, and then we'll go from there. All right, so with that being said, I then recommend that water that sits for 24 to 48 hours is not a reasonable or concern. It is actually benefit. So I then recommend that the water should receive 72-hour mark. In order to be again. Rest of the so we have a 72-hour mark from rain event happening, but not including right down. Okay. So that being said, so when I came on again on the last day of August, the water was on. So that being said, as far as stormwater is concerned, that meets the criteria under item, not stormwater. Seeding water from that lot.
So anytime it rains, happening for more, they ask 24 to 72 hours to dissipate and impact.
If I add a little bit to it, I am the one who actually put the culvert in.
Yes.
So the said area that you're talking about, where the water can make, that area is actually lower than where the drain is.
Yes.
So will that water ever drain? No, it won't. Unless put a little bit more dirt in there, so that the water will come up, so that it will flow down the hole.
That was going to be my recommendation.
Yes. Now, the other issue is, because I've had this issue since my neighbors have moved in. They don't understand that the area that they're talking about is, once again, lower than the drain. It will never drain. No matter what I or anybody else does, it won't drain. So I just want to make sure that this is nipped in the bud. Right?
No, I understand. That's what we would be.
Right.
No, right. No, and I did notice that there was some areas there that was a little bit lower, but as long as it just paid within that 70 mark, it's no longer concerned.
Okay.
Now. Yes, that area is a little bit lower, all right, and we were to put, you know, soil or whatever to bring that level.
I actually got the soil up in order to get the culvert.
Right,
I actually took a level to make sure that I was doing it.
yeah.
So that is, I just don't understand.
I don't, what I'm saying is, I don't see the need to extend storm sewer. Actually, on her line. From the
That's
side
another issue.
to there, when
It shouldn't have gone to their yard.
right,
It should have been on all the way down, but it didn't.
right, so, yeah, so it's on actually on the south end of the driveway, yeah. we walk through it. Put a little soil and grade up a little bit. Under that, so.
I realized I saw it before, this point in time, it's okay if I continue.
It doesn't have to do with culvert.
It has to do with it, with stormwater drainage or something along those lines, yes.
Okay.
Because I would like to put in a tree on my property. And while doing so, I started reading through the code over here. And section 151326, if you not have a copy of it, I can give you one, I can give it all. You can read what it says, and I would just like some clarification as to what it actually means. Because the way I read it and the way that the language states it is, any amount of dirt that I was to bring into my land. Actually, the way that it reads, I'm already in trouble. I've already brought dirt in, I've already done everything. I have comments, I was gonna give it permission to.
I spoke with Shannon about this. I needed clarification on what it's about.
Right.
And it took me a little bit to get back to Mr. Kevin.
Yeah, no,
But 151326, water excavation code. Says it shall become lawful for any person, firm, or corporation to remove or add any sand, soil, or any other material from or to the surface of any land within the footprint limits. Town or in any other manner change the contours of any land within said limits. Unless said person, firm, or corporation shall first have procured from the planning division of the town council a permit for such purposes. So doing so would require an excavation permit. Okay, that's what Shannon.
Just start putting a tree.
that's my question. I was saying that.
The rate of property level is the whole plan thing and his neighbor.
For the
Or a
culvert,
tree.
or tree.
Or a
So this is, the way I've always interpreted this, is if you can't find your neighbor, I can't add two truckloads of dirt to my yard, so that it runs into your yard.
I don't bother putting dirt in his yard, it can all be on my yard. I'm asking,
So,
I'm not there
and that's what I mean, that the water's gonna flow in his area,
Okay,
that's the question.
okay, so I'm not there agreement.
So section 15, 13, 26, A2 says no permit shall be issued for any operation which shall be unduly detrimental to the adjoining or surrounding properties, and shall be unduly detrimental to safety, health, or general welfare of the public. So that's why the excavation permit is required, because if somebody will listen to the year to sign off on it and say that it is or it is not. You're raising the entire property level.
And my question is, how high am I allowed to bring it without having? Huh? None, so I can't even go to Menards and buy one bag of dirt, bring it in without a permit, is that what you're talking about? That's the way I understood it.
Yeah, cause that's just landscape, that's not landscape.
That's exactly what I'm doing,
That's,
doing landscaping.
Okay, so are we gonna see truckloads of dirt?
Oh, yeah, because I'm putting in trees.
Like,
So my question, is, let's go back to the original question. My question is, I would like to be clarified what that sentence means.
I think it would be.
well, you're just doing like the dirt cone around that street. That's right.
Right.
Right, but.
The only reason I'm here is because
A2.
Because of what I did.
it's a year ago, I put in a culvert and I'm still having lots of problems.
Well,
Now I work with the trees.
I feel like, like, it's over, it should be closed.
Yeah, so the. Reaching another complaint, it's gonna come up because of this. Again, I promise you that. And I don't want any problems, I swear to live for the rest of my life.
Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second, just for, record purposes, so Nicole can take the minutes. You can state your name for her.
My name is Travis Kevin,
And your address.
1244 College Street.
Okay, I didn't know,
Well, it's 1244.
I didn't know she had talked, so I just, before I forgot, I wanted to pause for a second, okay.
I realize this is turning into something big, but it's not.
Yeah, but it's,
It's not, it's not.
so.
I mean, I would like any input right now, just like, please.
Cause I know why you're asking, because you want. Polish for having.
Yes, that's exactly what
I would get a. Make a permit request to you.
Well, that, yeah, that would be great.
The problem with the permit request, I read that the other day, is the license engineer drawing. I'm not going to get a license engineer drawing, so I can put trees in. It's not happening. I'm not paying $100 for a bit, or a bag of $20 bag.
But it's not that's required, it's the burden of proof from a legal standpoint. On one property owner versus another property owner. If you're doing something that's gonna cause water problems or drainage to another property owner. There needs to be some kind of professional authority that says that this isn't gonna be. That's the way it was explained to me, in conversation with you.
I understand everything. It makes complete sense. However, if I was to put a mound of dirt in the middle of my yard, nobody would say anything.
But you want to be truckloads. Go back to the truckloads, make sure your trucks showing up, dumping dirt.
How does it matter how?
So I would say.
Easement, like,
Oh, that's the other part. They have the easement, but
But it's like, it's like, work with. Where the tree.
can I ask what the other thought was?
He was just asking clarification that it's not just bagging dirt, that it's actually, you wanna put trees all along.
Yeah, the trees are 350 feet.
And build up a berm around these.
Not hard, no.
Well,
I just want to make sure.
But you wanna bring dirt up above these trees,
Yeah.
it's gonna be higher than.
So at this point in time, I have already purchased these trees. I purchased them back in April. It cost me $4,000. I put the trees in. The trees are dying. I had a tree expert come out and ask him, what's going on with my tree? He said, they're sitting in water. You need to bring them up. So that's what I need to do. So I started looking into this and The way I understand it, if I'm a bag of dirt, I need to. Are you putting dirt on your, yeah, or I'm putting a dirt on each tree.
But you're not building a berm, so the water will run around the berm.
Not the tree.
So it'd be like a mound.
So like you build a mound of dirt around a tree, you're not trying to build a wall, you're trying to put dirt around each said tree.
Yeah.
Or to put away from the top.
However, the way the snow breeds, I can need to bring it back there.
You know, people know how to ground and.
Yeah, I've already pulled them out of the ground. They're not even there anymore, it looks like shit.
How far apart are they spaced?
This is our.
Yes, I know, so, they were spaced. Five months apart.
Yeah.
That's true, I got our file, and the cards, during their sale, and by mile, in April, That was all. So.
I just wanna put a tree up as a fence, I don't want an actual fence. I bought 4 acres and I have over 1,000 trees on it, I like the trees. I'm gonna keep that one. Right. That's too far. You live here in town?
Do you have a landscape plan?
What?
Do you have a landscape plan that we could see that?
We weren't pictured when they were initially.
Yeah, I have pictures of where they were put in, so that's the part I never checked. If you were to landscaping in your house, you got it from here.
I mean, I would assume not, but my house came with landscaping, so that was all, you know.
I don't have that luxury, I could do it myself. There's no reason why not.
Then if your neighbors are complaining about something, that's what he's trying to protect us about.
Right.
Otherwise, I don't think I would. Anything.
I don't think I need to be here either, as well as, sure, there's all kinds of other things that more important.
If we're ready, sorry, I can be away by it. And like, the trees were dying, the neighbors actually came to try to get us. That's really my fault. Try this, so they weren't complaining about the trees. They were complaining about the polar, not the trees, but they're afraid. Yeah, do anything, they're gonna run March for the rest of the time. They should not be in the town like. First of all, you.
I never read it. Yeah, when you plan to create your house, you get it, right? Tree.
I live here, so that is. I live.
Either way, is there anybody in this room that has to get a permit?
You do if you plant it on top of the berm.
I'm not asking on top. I'm asking to bring in dirt so that I can.
Build
Trees need dirt. Trees need dirt, and that's what I need, man. I'm sorry, I've got 350 feet of. Property that needs trees, and I need dirt to put in there.
And you probably already hired. All the property, right? So
It does not matter what I do, back in the yards when.
Yeah, right. It just doesn't sound like this issue.
Amount of dirt, by the dirt.
Sure, so answer the question. So, I think this will answer the question. You plant the trees, so it sounds good. Plant the trees that are above. Pile the dirt around the trees. Is the dirt pile from one tree gonna connect to the next dirt pile?
No.
This is not excavation, this is planting.
The more that I focus on, not changing the house or property, no, to me, that would be if you're adding property order, you know.
How do we say that that's? Say that it's good,
We need to make.
given the.
I think even, if you want to do it online, sure. You would not,
do it.
not an engineer drawing,
Oh,
draw on,
Literally doing it right now.
draw on, it's, draw on a piece of paper. I want to.
Yes, okay.
So draw on a piece of paper, and share it with Joe, yeah, you can have mine.
Yeah, you don't need to do it right now.
Oh, all right.
Give it to the building.
Alright, and then you guys talk it through, if you're good with it. Let's do that, under the auspices that this is not excavation, it's.
I'm still slightly confused by the wording in the code, but I'm sure we'll have to deal with that another day.
It's more about, I think Clay's correct, that it's about changing the contour of the land, which is not what they're doing.
I know, I didn't do it.
Get with them. It be done with money.
Yeah. Alright. Okay. Kayla. We're still on reports. I'm so sorry, guys, we should have dinner for Snickers.
Hi, everybody, let me introduce myself. I was my friend and the part of the board of governors. And I know we have a few things to go over. The beach is officially closed for the season. Thank you so much for doing it.
I know.
Also on October 19th, the park will be hosting our annual Fall Fest in Trunk or Treat. The Trunk or Treat starts at 5:30 to 7, and then the Fall Fest activities are until 8:30. Anyone who would like to participate in the Trunk or Treat, please contact. Also, the town picnic will be held Sunday, September 22nd at Lakewood Park from 1 to 3. Any resident who is planning to attend, we would kindly ask if you would please come. This is a perfect time for the town to come together and celebrate the 50th anniversary of the groundbreaking Lakewood Park. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, how are we advertising from
Right, it would be on, we've been advertising it on Facebook. There will not be a postcard going out if that was what your question is, too costly, $600. The Park Foundation does not.
Okay, well, you guys spoke with Brandon about the sign and advertising the picnic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Him and contact,
Yes.
we'll just kind of move it around town like we.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no
Being
problem.
your team.
I honestly really hope to see you on there.
One left.
Oh, here's a couple years.
Yeah, is anybody?
I don't get it. Every other guy.
Yeah, I really know. All right, so RDC. All right, that's neat. So the RDC met today and we're at Greenway Trail, so chugging along under construction. We did extend that project for 16 days, they asked for an additional 16 days. For work on that, we got a little slow start in the spring because it was so wet in the spring. And we couldn't do much. So we talked last month about possibly doing the ribbon cutting before the town picnic. But we're, as I mentioned earlier in the meeting, we're gonna push that out and try to work with the park to do that as a retreat and have some events going on there. Thank you.
We still have not had any interest in somebody running a your ethics advisory committee. Or somebody,
Well, really excited, I'm like, what? I know. I see it in all your faces, I'm so excited.
Explain what meeting detail.
the shared ethics advisory, so I had with me last month, so I might be telling it wrong, but they go to meetings, is it every other month?
So you expressed with your face like minor interest, so now we're gonna try to sell you more. So we have the.
Those from last meetings, I had it all together.
So it's gonna grab the shared ethics advisory committee, it's a quarterly meeting, it's usually at Avalon Manor, America. And it's, it has to be, can't be anybody that's on any other board, council members, no boards, town employees, it has to be somebody completely independent. And really, it's just that you are the representative from the shared ethics advisory committee to us and our representative to them. And then you share with us, you know, before every election, you sign the code of ethics and the meetings are all about. You know, what I've been to a couple.
I mean, the road was in the end of the full. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of every.
Yeah, so every single time.
Yeah, so we're putting it together.
And then you bring the information back to us on how to keep. You know, technical issues that are at the forefront of what they're talking about. We make sure that we are aware of the technical problems that we could get into.
Sound fun? Anybody? No? Maybe next time. I'll just guys think about it for next.
If you're making less songs.
Yeah. Get more information. So correspondence, we're on to the next section.
And I saw this was at my seat.
I just want to say, I didn't read the budget, rotation, read all of it. Nick's usually the reader.
Correspondence, item notice of public comment, PBS Technologies, Inc. Item notice of decision, Montessori Union Plan, item notice of decision, RDOT Metal Packaging, and item notice of decision, Scrap Metal Services LLC.
Yeah. All right. Presentation of resolutions and ordinances. Yeah, and also you, Nick.
All right, number one, resolution 2024-6, appropriation line items transfer. Have it. Be hereby resolved by the town council of the town of Burns Harbor, Porter County, Indiana, that the following transfers of funds be made in the 2024 budget. General building, $500 from tires and tubes, 5-223 into office equipment, 5-413. General marshal, $8,000 from deputy marshal, 2-122 into part-time marshal, 2-114. $34,869.64 corporal, 2-119 into sergeant, 2-120. Sewage, $527.25 from utility travel, 12-131 into other supplies, 12-243. And $1,850 from miscellaneous services, 12-392 into utility instruction, 12-311. Passed and adopted this 14th day of August 2024. Motion to adopt.
Second. Any second? Roll call please.
Councilman Graves.
Yes.
Councilman Bozak.
Yes.
Councilman Fleming.
Yes.
Councilman Grau.
Yes.
Councilwoman McCart.
I'll abstain, because I'm abstaining because Jerry's my husband, so anything I have to do with the police department, I just abstain from. So there's no conflict of interest. Should explain it for any people that have been caught on, so.
Which is also the Sierra.
Yes.
Number two, ordinance 224-2024, establishing the Burns Harbor 1977 Police Pension Fund and establishing a board of trustees for management of the town of Burns Harbor 1977 Police Pension Fund.
I make a motion.
Do I have to read that in its entirety this time? Or do not? 324-2024.
I make a motion to adopt ordinance 324-2024, effective the Burns Harbor 1977 pension fund.
Discussion. Roll call please.
Councilman Grau.
Yes.
Councilman Graves. Yes. Councilman Fleming.
Yes.
Bozak. Yes. Councilwoman McCart.
Abstain. All right. Sorry.
There it is. Number three, resolution 24-07, additional appropriation for the police per prior year's service. Resolution related to an additional appropriation for the police per prior year's service. And this one has been run over.
Yeah, I please. Second.
Discussion. Roll call please.
Councilman Graves. Yes. Councilman Fleming.
Yes.
Bozak.
Yes.
Councilman Grau.
Yes.
Councilman McCart.
Abstain. All right,
New business, we have a couple staff anniversaries and they are, so Mike Gutierrez from street department. And John Carnahan are after 2 years in service, will be. If I'm wrong. Correct?
September 1 was this year.
Okay. So thank you. Great. Already covered the 2023-3 in order. So now we're at the approval of Putnam Builders by fighting response.
We all have the. We all have the map, and we have the letter from Jeanette.
Today I'm requesting approval of my office. My. All I want to bring the morning was. Where. Basically get that, here comes the board to go ahead and. At they. I just want to give a little FYI, I looked over this map and compared it with like the existing, where it meets the existing subdivision and like we're in like. But if they don't show a new light, that's because there's an existing light at that. So I compared the existing and see.
Authorize the treasurer to write a letter for providing plan for phases 5 to 8 of the.
Second. Discussion, I have a question, this is like. Yes. Say yes to those.
So even if they're adding more lights. So that it wasn't like, when I listened around with that other house, that is these lights that we maintain. So now they're adding new lights, so it automatically get added to the lights that were already.
But these are our right.
Well, it's their lights that they fixed with their
Yes,
subdivisions.
yes, and we maintain,
There was an agreement years ago that
yeah,
the town.
we maintain walls, the conduit, all
But was that agreement, but there's that, what, does that agreement state these specific lights? So now that there's these lights, like are those now
that. I have
the,
not seen anything.
and that would be my question.
On top of that, it's the agreements, I don't know, but then as the agreement with the HOA. That said, what he's building here is part of the HOA, separate entity than the HOA. That's the question.
Are there existing Putnam homes already in this subdivision?
There is a subdivision, but this property sold to Putnam, and I don't know if it's part of the HOA. That's, I haven't been on the case, but what he's building is part of the HOA. In other words, already home for the assessment from HOA, and it would, if that is the fact, then it would be a responsibility of part of the area. But I wouldn't have that.
I don't reach out to Putnam and well,
Everybody.
yeah.
I just don't want to pick on this more. I think that's actually.
Should we table this then?
I withdraw my motion.
Here, look at it. Are they here? Sorry. We have questions. Yes.
Jeanette, maybe you can answer this for me. So that was originally phases 5 through 8.
Yeah.
So it was phases 5 through 8 from the original development that, I mean, granted, I was not here when it was approved, so I don't know, but I can only say that this is a part of a previous, so when the question is whether or not Putnam is part of this is a part of the original development of the village. I don't know anything about the lighting agreement and any finances, but I would say that this is something that was approved over a decade ago.
I mean, I've got plats, the subdivision plats, yeah, I can access them, and I think I agree. The entirety of the village was chopped up into phases. These were assigned phases 5 through 8, so. I'm not an expert in writing HOA. Legalese, but.
My only other question is there a clear layout where the electrical lines are so that we are not trying to fight and find these lines like we were in the rest of the village? Brandon and other electricians,
Whole light.
they just do whatever they want.
It is very big issue.
And then it's our responsibility to find it.
And that's a question of cost.
Yeah,
I see the other question is this. Did the transfer of the property from the developer to wholesale relieve us of our obligation?
Yeah. I think we should give a little.
I agree. Yeah, there's two people.
Yeah. And.
And we just have too many questions about it to. All right, approval of August 2024 financial report. Discussion. Roll call please. Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Bowden. Yes. Councilman Graves. Yes. Approval to take off your board signatures.
So there's. Yeah, I'll second the discussion. So there's some questions in the, or comments on the claim, book of the meeting vouchers, some notes from Lori on things that they have been mixed up. So I don't know, if we want to make changes. There were some things that we put in that Lori had said that we need to take out of the different company. But I don't know if there's still conversation between Lori and her treasurer regarding that, but I certainly don't want to. No.
I'm also going to add everything you put through email, no more post-its, things, no more from here to there, which we posted.
I think that's one other
Okay.
situation.
I will say, the changes are very. If you want to go out, I think those things that we should have off on. But there is correction behind it. Including the building and running, give it all that in each hall, the process.
So I'll make a motion to approve, I mean, that signature, so once you verify that they're good, you sign it, so. But yeah, the motion stands, but I don't.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call please. Councilman Bowden.
Yes.
Councilman Graves.
Yes.
Councilman Rock. Councilman Loving.
Yes.
Councilman Clark. Abstain.
Approval of purchase orders submitted to 31 signatures.
Discussion. Roll call please. Councilman Loving.
Yes.
Councilman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Graves. Councilman Bowden.
Yes.
Abstain. All right, old business. VP system, we talked a little bit, RBC. I talk about it again. Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the EVP system agreement, so this is again the system that changes when we change over the lights from red to green for emergency vehicles. It's a so Chief Noacky brought us some information on it, we did ask him to go out and find some more information as far as what the deadline is for us to decide if we want to be part of this and what the exact amount is. The question is how, if you want to move forward with it, or we estimate around $20,000, how do you want to pay for that? Do you want to do that with, look into ARPA funds, you want the town to pay for that? It's something that, you know, police and the fire department are going to, you know, things that us benefit from. I don't know if you want to give a little bit more information.
So the system is designed for each vehicle within the fleet of the police department and the fire department. I believe the county, Northwest Health Ambulance Service is also jumping on board with these adding some devices to be able to allow our vehicles to get a flow of traffic that the emergency vehicle is approaching the intersection in. It starts moving the traffic from that, but also shutting down traffic on all other directions. But the system's upgraded a little bit differently, where it puts GPS devices in each vehicle and they can determine, like, if a police car and a fire truck are coming to the same intersection, going to the same emergency and turning into the same lane, it's going to determine which vehicle is going to approach the intersection first and give them the right. Also, if other towns, cities, or entities are coming here or through here to get to another emergency, it's going to just start that flow of traffic and then all minimizing the congestion in the intersection, and also minimizing the percentage of a vehicle with another.
So, yeah,
Okay.
That's a second. Okay. Plus.
The ED program was originally the grant process. It started out at an 80-20 split. The town that and that got changed to a 90 and they got grant process.
yes.
Not to exceed 20,000.
Pay on a seated. Or basically, the balance is here, the rest is just the back end. Okay.
Any discussion?
Roll call, please. Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Bowman,
Yes.
Yes. Councilman Loving. Understand this one. I'm sorry.
I guess, thank you, but the second thing is there is a commitment letter that potentially would need to be signed along with that. I don't know if that motion encompasses that, but I think that is something that needs to be discussed.
We did have a motion. Do you want? Vice President?
Yes, ma'am.
The bids aren't due until the.
Okay, I didn't think we hit the deadline, I just wasn't sure if I could get it yet, I'll just try to get an idea of right around this, but.
Auction for the old town generator.
Online, sent out an email to all department heads. I was thinking maybe spring next year, give everybody an ample amount of time to figure out, if they have reserve prices. A way to organize. About the old generator is not on the way. We're having to store it until.
It came back, no problem.
We have it in our possession right now.
Long as someone has.
Like a quick
Yeah, it is.
You're supposed to have it come and certify that generator, correct?
Excuse me?
The new generator, they have not come to certify it, I have sent about
15 emails.
I was gonna ask about what's going on with the generator, can we fill in the next way?
I'm gonna start blowing up their phones, cause they won't,
Yeah, this needs to be addressed.
I
I know you've been making a phone call. You don't, right now, our police department, and fire department, and the power town now, they have no power, either facility. Very pressing issue.
If it's on a payroll, they payroll them.
well, we still have their money, like, we still have the money for the generator, I asked. The clerk treasurer, we're still holding all that money, so,
Yeah, it's not like, it's about.
well, no, I understand that, but you would have said there was only one payment. Cause we've been sitting on it forever. Or either of us were on the account.
Alright, quick question on.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, do we still need to declare it? Okay.
Last item on old business, open positions, we already talked about the fund, the shared ethics position. But we're also looking for somebody to serve on sanitation board, they have to have, a professional engineer background, not that you acting as an engineer, but you have that background and knowledge. A lot of people very good. Right, go to the order. Does anybody have anything that's just your plan to speak? Can I let Adam go really quick? Adam, maybe?
I have three things. One is, first of all, thank you, council, for taking the. Appreciate it. Just a couple housekeeping matters is we need to, Brandon was put in the 012-111 as his term as superintendent or interim superintendent of the education department. So I think that's 25%. He's taken out of the 012-113, which is the labor related, where it's supposed to come from.
But we need to have appropriation for that, we're transferring from out of one to the other.
We're not transferring anything, we're just being where its status is.
Okay.
So
So currently he's seeing data. Right. Okay.
this was done in open meeting when
Do we need, find out? That's. So now. Yeah. Properly, that line is. Okay. Can we look into that?
sure.
We might, I don't, we might need to get proper paperwork. For you, right? Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Second thing was, I emailed out the fire service contract as corrected and requested. And I noticed it wasn't on the agenda. Fine, we're okay. We did receive.
You did not receive it.
That
What's that?
The fire contract. Wait a minute.
I emailed the council as requested.
Okay.
Town council email.
With the changes made.
With changes made, correct.
Yes. Do you want to review it again, Claire, and send it to you? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine.
My apologies.
No, and,
I will do that soon.
okay, and my final thing is the Burger Fire Department is doing a golf outing on September 23rd at River Point Golf Course. Our people players will come play. If you were at a golfer or you can hang out with players and have a good time. $400 per team, $100 per person. Brandon and I was two more guys that be on our team with us. And we do have other things you can try to donate, get full sponsors, more than welcome.
Get on the front of the fire department, right? Or come scan the QR code up here and go against the fire department. We appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, yeah.
And Mr. Orlando?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay. Can you state your name and address, right? You're very familiar from town lately, but just for the record, you know, everything's straight.
That's Orlando, 1149 West. I'm gonna be submitted as part of the minutes. So, I got some questions too about.
Don't know if we would answer questions at this time. Okay.
I think I should, if you could do your best, I'm understand this. So curious on this section 12 of chapter 15-12-1 purpose. The purpose of the special use district is to provide a specific pre-existing uses and building types within designated areas of the zoning project. The areas have been identified within the official zoning act as amended. Special use district shall not be used as a new zoning district for future uses within the. The question is, when it comes to the SDA, well, that's. I believe the section 12 special use district zoning ordinance, SDA technology use special district. Based on that, it does not seem to be valid or allowed in the current zoning ordinances. This is something that was brought up by the board at the beginning of the meeting, kind of planning commission. And we kind of addressed and discussed, so I wanted to bring it up to this council. And whatever you get, I'm not a lawyer, so. So I'm just wondering if the SDA was approved by the town council. It may open up the possibility that the ordinance itself is invalid and void. Legal force would have to be taken to the first piece, which approved the ordinance establishing new district, new zoning district pursuant to section 12 special use district. It's SDA technology use special district. Since the SDA technology use district is not listed in the current comprehensive plan, I believe in order to get that added, we would have to make it. The other thing that was, I did not hand out, as part of the current ordinance that's on the table, is in section 8, where it says any ordinance, this is in the SDA ordinance itself. It says any ordinance or provision of any ordinance in the comments are in conflict with this provision, or with the provision of any ordinance is hereby superseded by this ordinance. I don't know if that statement means that we're trying to assert the idea that we have a current zoning ordinance that says that the special districts are for pre-existing uses and not future uses. I'm just looking for some clarification on that. This is another opinion from somebody earlier today. The zoning ordinance in Burns Harbor is quite clear that a new special use district may not be created for uses. Thus, the entire process given petitioner's request on behalf of Providence should immediately cease and abandon this is total issues section of the zoning ordinance. We're going to try to explain why the draft of the SCA document should be considered null and void. There should be no further public hearings, presentations, or aggregation of citizens. You guys have any opinions or clarifications on that?
We have seen everything you give us, but at this time it's up to the board to.
team influencing the activities of the bank commission. I don't want to see. State.
I appreciate it. Well, I don't understand what the process is. Say that, again.
Anybody else?
Good order?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to, state your name and address.
Yeah, I don't understand. But,
Maybe we're.
yeah, if I would have known this one.
I don't know if you guys, my meeting was last pretty long, so I apologize.
So, my name is Brandon Dowsey, I work in construction, 1531 South County, Road, Chesterfield, Indiana.
Mark Silverson, with the service consultant for repair. Address is 278. Mark.
So I was invited to the town council meeting by Mr. Joe and Mr. Cat, so.
Mr. Lewandowski had answered something in regards to the final and I was a little bit confused with that because what I have is covered and he's not doesn't state anything in regards to that. So I drove out to the credit and there are two issues there with that. One, we had a clear that had not been done. That's one separate issue. And then when I got there, I seen there was excavation work done for what looks to be a future accessory building. But again, that was approved by commission on the site plan, the wall plan, and that's done on the scale project. Again, that's not what was permitted, but I have from the building department, the previous building. So those are the two issues that I ran into, that this was work outside of the scope of the permit. And then the other issue was this was expired and it was secured. Not to get that or not. That means whether maximum flags required for all. There's one of each of these for you guys.
So what's the plans, like, what did you dig out for?
So, Mr. Joe, can you talk about the conversation we had on Friday?
As far as excavation work.
Just in general.
Yeah. Right. That's where I took it. Oh, the issues that we have.
Okay, so, I called Mr. Joe, I built the auto shop for Mr. Surgeon. Quick background on Mark and I, he was my tenant, he became my client, and now we're friends, so, anyways. No, not really. You know, prior to starting the project, Mark and I came in, I think, I don't know if we talked to the plan commission. Kind of told that a little bit, I don't know if the plan commission or council, or it was Tony being Cardi or something, what was she on?
It's a sanitary board meeting on February first.
He was before planning commission. You were there.
Yeah, anyways, so, you know, Mark's had an established business in neighboring community.
It's Chester.
Oh, so I got you in just 10 things and try to figure out the okay, regardless, the conversation that Joe called me on Friday, I was out of town, I picked up the phone with Brian, fortunately, like, I gotta cash in the bond because they're past the due date of when you signed, when you gave us a letter of commitment. I heard Miss Bozak earlier state that we had like a real rainy spring and the project got pushed back.
The permits were extended, yes.
The permits were extended. This is something that's similar to this. I think Ms. Hicks earlier on was saying that some other sort of permit was extended for a road or something, or.
Did you apply for an extension of the permit and you was denied? Is that what the question?
No, I didn't apply for it. You know, I called Mr. Joe, you know, by saying, hey, you know, I'm still working on it. I haven't forgot about it. Like, we're gonna be there. And I'd like to pass out this.
When you contacted, Joe, was it?
It was
after the
brief. It was,
After the expiration, after your permit is already expired?
yeah, and
Okay.
to be honest with you, I didn't have that date like in my calendar or something. It was probably somewhere around there. However, here's. Kind of just like a quick overview, GIS map. I don't think I got enough for everybody. But I think this is my copy.
You're good, okay, what's your?
So this is just like a quick, there's like something that you can get online. It's called LiDAR. You know, it is partially lying. You know, we get that it's not an exact science. However, it is somewhat of a useful tool. During the planning of this project, Doolin Group engineer designed, you know, the whole stormwater site. They went down the street, shot a bunch of elevations down the street. I don't have all that information. However, this LiDAR shows that, like, if you look at the way the arrows are going from Melton Road to where Mark's property is at, it's the water runs downhill, as this gentleman discussed earlier, you know, so, there's kind of like a circle with a bunch of X's, which is where that place was just always saturated, like. I mean, we couldn't get in there for a long time. I live right down the street from here, like, you know, as part of landscaping, it's our intent to like complete the site plan as we submitted to the town. And Doolin Group did a 64-page drainage narrative, which was turned in, approved. I turned in the building permit, you know, turned in all the plans, everything we're doing. And then we, you know, we're able to speed the project along for Mark. He's kind of busting at the seams where he was at. I went ahead and pushed the project in, got him done in what, 4 months or something, 4.5 months. So Mark could get in there and start wrenching our cars. I think it was like February or something when we got like a conditional certificate of occupancy. This is a weird project because with this project from the timeline that I've started this project until now, there's been 3 separate building commissioners like that have like been through this. So like, it's kind of confusing. Mr. Chuck was a really nice guy. I was kind of sad to see him leave. I'm not sure why he left. I thought it was kind of abrupt, but it's just like, oh, maybe he didn't like it or something. I don't know, but I mean, they call this time of year like the great resignation, right? Because like everybody's resigning. Whatever. Anyways, so then I was upfront with him about like what we're doing and what our plans was and where I was at. And you know, I'm not a contractor who like runs from problems. Like I have an unlisted phone number and I'm busy. You know, I'm just a small fish in the big sea and I like to keep it like that. However, my intention is to grade the property and put the landscaping in as the site plan states. There is a if you look at it. getting back to that, if everybody had a couple of minutes to kind of review that. That thing, you could obviously see that all the water sits right next to Mark's parking lot, and. I lived on the street from there were times I remember walking through the weeds, trying to go there, being like, hey, I wonder if we can grade this yet, it's been dry for 10 or 15 days. And I'm still walking there, and it's like walking through, chili bugs, right? So like, you can't grade it, you can't grade dough, you can grade flour, right? So anyways, it kind of made it tricky, and then.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but you're.
I'm trying to put it in, I'm trying to put it in layman's terms for people who don't do construction, sorry. Anyways, however, and I built another project in, on Blue Road right here. Brandon did the final, occupancy inspection on that. I was able to grade that yard because it was on a hill, but this one's in a bowl, so it's like the conditions are different. If this was on a hill, I would have had it done. I also did run into some truck maintenance, which I think some guys from the sanitary, about equipment and running into problems and that kind of stuff. They run into problems, I run into problems, anyways. So I just got, I don't know how many ever. So anyways, my intent is to finish this. I want to grade the property per the site plan that was submitted. And they're saying, oh, well, you're digging the building pad. There was dirt that was at that building pad that you can't build on top of. We took that dirt and graded it. When engineers are designing properties with the evolution of computers, they had a button at the end and it does like kind of levels the site out, which makes it so you're not hauling so much dirt out, so much dirt in, so like. That's some of the things where like. That we needed some dirt here and it was a little low here, so we had to move that dirt around to get the property. To flow correctly. Now. I don't
Okay,
know.
can I ask you a question? Your issues are what and your issues are what? So we're clear on.
So it sounds like there's two separate.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
One of them.
One of
Issue
them.
number one is you haven't had a chance to finish landscaping. After that, in the private.
But you did
That's
to the library.
not totally what I did. Okay. Here's one of the things that I found, sorry.
Yes, I was at building contract Friday when. Ryan came in, discussed, there are two issues going on.
That was on Monday, this,
I'm sorry, about the dates. Anyway, I'm going on. Bottom line is there's two issues, there's one. Brought up that your expiration of the conditional permit had expired, and that's what he had critically come out and did taking care of. He was asking people what is done now that this first time we had somebody, they complete the landscaping in detail. There's been plenty of time that the landscaping could have been done. What it is the issue of the landscaping not being completed. There was a bond posted at the.
Right.
Once it was passed, that no one to know what this would be over here. We come in as the town and take that money to finish the landscaping or yeah. I personally thought the best thing to do would be to allow an extension on that, get the landscaping done. The other issue is that we started to.
Is that your motion?
Yes. I'll make a motion to allow Ryan Lowndes at Blumkowski to complete landscaping for the original building that has been given a condition.
And to extend the permit for how long?
1 month
From today.
from today.
Do we have a second before we go to discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just trying to solve one problem at a time, so we're in discussion. We're going to give you 30 days, 1 month to complete the landscaping portion of this project. Are you
Yeah,
okay with that?
Partially, I want to bring up some additional information that pertains to this. I'm not sure exactly how a conditional occupancy permit works. I understand that it's for the owner to occupy the building. When Mr. Chuck inspected the building, You know, we went through, checked all the fires, everything, there's no like safety violations, so then Mark's able to. However, nowhere in the building in the Burns Harbor, and this is the strange thing, maybe I missed something, but I could not find anywhere in Burns Harbor the length of the construction permit.
1 year, 1 year from the day it was issued.
Right, so I'm still less than that in 1 year.
But this is different.
That's not for building, this is for land.
That's for your permit, that's for your permit goes from 1 year, the date of acceptance. He came in and asked for it, and I think, the occupied building, he came in for a occupied permit. Permit. We went in there, everything, the truck went in there and asked everything except the landscaping was not done, so therefore we put in a conditional.
Yeah, landscaping and grading on the other side.
And that was a 6-month conditional.
And that was 6 months conditional.
Okay.
We passed that, so not get that done, therefore the landscaping needs to be completed. We, as a town council, can decide whether the funding be done by somebody else or by the contractor. I'm offering right now a motion to allow him to finish that within 30 days. The landscaping that was on the original scope of work and permit.
I'm still somewhat, you know, getting back to construction and how things happen. You wouldn't want to grade a bowl. You know, right now, the land previously was a bowl. I'm like, I'm kind of confused here by saying, hey, first we need to grade the landscaping per the site plan that was approved. And then we could put grass on top. And then we could put our trees in, and we could put our mulch, et cetera. So like, I feel like I'm being forced.
That was supposed to be done before the certificate was issued. So the certificate was issued.
No, it's conditional that the landscaping be done. You know what I'm saying? Is you have to grade a yard before you landscape it. Right, that's 6 months. I had 6 months, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was wet and it's in a bowl, water,
But just like the other ones, we're extending this to 30 more days.
I get that. But what I'm saying though now is that. You know, I'd have to look at the timeline. I was gonna go there today. It's gonna rain next week. I don't know how wet it's gonna be, but when water comes off 20, it goes through a culvert that's in the neighbor's yard. And before, it was running back in there. Now that we graded that front properly, it runs down along 20 towards the east side. So now when it rains, it doesn't get as wet. Because we were taking all the water from 20 and now we're many hundreds of feet down the road. So I mean, I'm fine, I can get it done.
I would
You know,
just make
and-
this your priority.
Yeah, no, and it's no problem, like I said, I mean, I just got to pick up my truck back from the, you know, get the DOT regulation stuff, you know, like, you know, I say, there's no brakes that are messed up on. Before we kill somebody, we gotta get this thing, you know, and like,
So we're gonna vote on the extension right now.
yeah, that's fine,
Are you okay with that?
yeah.
Okay. Roll call please.
Yes, Councilman Graves. Chief. Councilman Morale.
Yes.
Councilman.
Yes. Okay, you have 30 days.
Okay, I'd also like to say this is the first time that any sort of extension. Not prior to this, no talk of any extension, whatever. I got a phone call from Friday from Mr. Joe saying, hey, oh, you didn't finish the landscaping, we're gonna have to pull your bond. I'm like, okay, well, what are you gonna do with the bond? I'm like, is it a fine? Is it what is it? Yeah, it's a fine. I'm like, you know, that doesn't sound right. I'll come in Monday and we'll discuss it, you know? Because usually a bond is for some sort of performance. You pull it to go do the work. My intention is to do the work. You know, I just wanna let the town council know that.
Just
I was
when
missing.
you, your 30-day extension. If it rains for 25 days, it is your responsibility to contact the building department and ask for an extension.
I
We
get,
don't reach out to people and ask them if they want an extension. That is you as the person who's doing the work. So if you get to 20 days and you're like, this ain't happening in the next 10 days, then it's your responsibility to be on the phone here with us to ask and request another extension.
I get
And
that.
then if there's any other work that you're doing outside of that scope, you need to get signed with the
Right.
Whether you're digging to make a bigger parking lot, or you'll need to get a separate permit for that.
I get that.
Okay,
That's our second issue, is that's why I drove at one over there, you saw the hole that was dug, you see the picture that I'm talking about. It says right on there, future building that was not in the original scope of work, only for 30 days. The original scope of work, the original landscaping that was created on that original scope of work. Anything else than that, you need to come in with a plan and show what that's gonna be, and that has to go through the process.
As well as a safety concern. There's no guardrails around that, there's no
how
around
deep
that,
is that?
it's approximately what, 2 feet deep.
No, probably 16 inches.
Okay.
So
So
if it's
deep
even-
enough if you're walking and you don't see it at night and you step in it and you get hurt.
That took the cars right now, the parking lot, come off to the end of the pavement, it drops right
Okay.
there, and if a car goes too far. it's gonna fall into that hole. That's why that would not have been touched for the landscaping of these, but it's still supposed to work.
Anyways, so back to the second issue, I disagree with that, with grading the yard. Not being a part of the scope of work. It seems like I should have just not did anything from the parking lot to the west, so as shown on. I think I made this a little more user friendly since. Each one of these arrows kinda. In that post, each one of these arrows kinda shows where the water flow goes, right? So on there, there's numbers that we have to find when we're building things. To determine that the water flows the right way as designed. This was submitted prior to starting the project, approved by the engineers. So this was the scope of work to grade the entire site, am I correct, Jeanette? In a building project, would you grade the entire site?
Would, I mean, and I'm not completely familiar with like with all this, and I have not seen this whole. But if you are saying, well, you didn't say this, but if you're saying, well, we're not gonna build that for another year, we're just trying to grade the site to. Plus or minus where we need dirt, that sounds like part of construction, so I don't. Yeah, so I don't know.
And as part of it, this is, thank you, Travis, for educating us an hour ago. You excavated this future site without a permit.
Yeah.
My permit is still in effect from the original start date.
Not the accessory building.
I'm not building the accessory building. I'm grading the site. I had to take dirt, I had to take dirt from there to grade it correctly. You know, I guess at the end of the day, I've worked in all kinds of different municipalities. I just built a gas station in Lake Station. I'm looking at some other projects in Dyer. I was at the Dyer Building Department, you know, their town council 2 weeks ago, you know, and I was kind of scrolling through, like, just falling into a rabbit hole, looking through some of the ordinances. And I look at the employee handbook, and I kind of look at some of the things that they talk about there. And like, you know, it talks about resident relations, and like nothing is more important than being courteous, friendly, helpful, and prompt to the intentions of the employee against the residents. You know, so like that is some of the stuff where like, you talk that like, you know, there has to be a good relationship between, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, like, hey, Mr. Bryant, are you overstepping your bounds on digging that hole, or what are you doing over there? Be like, no, we're grading this. Well, we think that might be beyond your original scope from 2 building commissioners ago, which I had a conversation with him about it. Would you mind coming in and getting a permit for that? Like, it'll be a $50 permit. Everything's been approved by the planning commission. We just want to make sure we're crossing our i's and dotting our t's.
And that should have been previously taken.
So,
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That was 2 building commissioners ago, but Mr.
Even if it's crossing T's and dotting I's that you did not, because you do the due diligence on, you should have come in before any dirt was moved, anything was done,
I
and
did. A year ago.
you don't, but it didn't cover that portion of it, it covered what you already built.
It doesn't, I had.
You got a permit, that was the issue.
What's the permit say?
Scope of work that was on the original permit.
Right, but I turned in 30 pages of documents of the scope of work, I can't quite write, I can't write. The 1,000 things that I do on a job site, 4 lines, that's why we turn in plans, if people know how to read building plans, the scope of work is on the plans, that's a short summary of what we're doing, building the building. So it's like, do we build a building and not grade the site? I didn't have landscaping on the permit application, we know that has to be done.
Did the permit application have this future accessory building on it?
Yeah, but it's future accessory, the site plan did, we didn't turn in building plans for the future. For the future thing, however, the site plan, which is right here. Has the building, these numbers right here are great to show that the water needs to go that way for the site plan to be complete. All I'm saying is you wouldn't put the cart in front of the horse and put landscaping in prior to grading the land. You grade the land and then you put the landscaping in. That's why I said, if they would have been more polite and treated the resident with respect and came to me and said, hey, Brian, what are you doing over there? You know, and I've been in other municipalities and ran into situations like that, like, or maybe.
So I just, our issue is because of the depth of what you graded. That we're not okay with, it looks like we're gonna cover it under excavate, you excavated dirt.
Right.
You're digging into the
So,
ground.
right, so, I mean,
So I guess what we're asking is, where do we go from here? Can he just either pay a fine or come in tomorrow and get a permit for this before any other work is done?
Sir, when you intend to construct the accessory building?
I haven't decided that yet.
Future
Okay.
plan, you're not gonna need on that.
That was on the original plan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's always in the future, but it's not gonna be tomorrow or this year, I mean.
Next year, you're after, it's in the future.
Right.
But that, your permit only is for a year, so if this was on the original plan, you have a year to date to do this building, go ahead.
Okay, it was designated as a potential future secondary accessory building. It wasn't part of the original plan. So as far as like putting a timeline on a secondary building, like that building hasn't been evaluated, inspected or anything else. So like he hasn't even started the clock on that second building. So he can build that 10 years from now, but he'd have to get a permit to do it.
yeah, but the pad where the building is sitting. Was permitted on the original site plan, which you have right there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, I mean, I'm happy to come in and get a building permit for something that was already on there to grade the yard.
In this town, I wanna see a hole that big for the next 5 years. You know, until you decide.
Will the pad fill in the hole?
No, you put sand in there first, and then you put, you know, either stones or whatever on top, you know, it's a building pad.
It is not concrete.
No. That's what I'm saying,
You're gonna put sand, you're gonna fill with sand and then stone, and what was that site gonna be used for?
Just, I mean, if he has an extra car, he needs to sit there, or,
It needs a permit.
that's fine, so then I'll come in and get a permit, all I'm saying is the site grading. Was on the original plan submitted, and now that I'm here, you know, you kind of like learn from your mistakes. I feel like in this situation, I should have had phase 1 and phase 2. Okay, guess what? We're gonna leave this all nasty with a bunch of weeds, and we're gonna let it flood with water as it has, and we're not gonna touch it. That wasn't our intent to leave it like that. Our intent was to grade it as Jeanette and her firm approved. You know, at the end of the day, but there was some dirt that was there that is black dirt that we would use to grade the yard correctly, and that's what we're doing. And through the mix, like, okay, it wasn't on my permit to clean up all the stuff between him and the neighbor. You know, all that brush that was growing in the fence.
But that's also not excavating the future site of the future.
I'm just saying it wasn't on the permit.
That's, yeah,
You know, I mean, it's like, okay, I set my bounds by cleaning up the neighbor's property too.
you know, and it's just like.
The issue not with that, it's with the whole, so.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Permit, then we can resolve all
how-
the issues.
How
I mean, I'll
are we
come
gonna
in.
be able to pull that?
I mean, I'll come in and get a building permit to put a grade aside of the car, the value of the permit is zero because it was on my original scope of work. With the gentleman, I've already been,
Each one seems to be falling in there and getting hurt or
Right.
a car going in there.
Does he need a permit to fill the hole with sand and stone?
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to ask, because that changes the scope of work. Are you making this a parking lot now, you're gonna come in and get a building permit to make this a parking lot, so he can park cars there like you mentioned? Or is this something that you're prepping and preparing to build a future site? A future building?
I mean, it's what the site plan shows, it's a thing, I mean, yeah, we put stone. The site plan is for the future building, we're gonna put stone there, is it okay if Mark parks the car there on the stone?
It's not, is it?
I mean, he moves cars, like, it's not like he has something sitting out there that.
He does it now, but you just never know what's gonna happen.
No, I mean, I can
Sit
tell
for
you,
6 months,
I-
sit for.
I gotta tell you that Mark was a tenant of mine for 5 years. And never did I had to give Mark a thing like, hey, Mark, you've had that POS car sitting out there for 35 days now, can you move it? I never had to give him that. Mark always took the car in, fixed it, got it back to the customer. If it was something that was dilapidated and he couldn't fix, it went bye-bye. You know, so he's not trying to make it like.
Well, I'm not.
I'm just. Yeah, no, I know, I get that, but I'm just saying the history with me was good, and I hope that his history with you would be good as well. So I'll come in tomorrow, I'll fill out a building permit, you know, to build the site plan as it is. I'll put some more details on there as far as putting stone on there. The question that I ask are you guys gonna throw a hissy if he has a car parked there? Or 10 cars parked there, or whatever the situation may be.
That's a whole nother, I feel like that's a whole nother ballgame, right?
Well, that's something.
Construction parking lot.
I mean, it's a gravel building pad that he's eventually gonna build on, you know, but.
So now you're saying you're starting construction on the accessory
No,
building?
I'm not saying that you're saying
You just
eventually.
did, you said you're putting in basically the foundation for an accessory building.
I'm not putting in a
Right.
foundation for it. Eventually, it's gonna be there, not today, not next week. All I'm saying is think about if you guys have a problem with in parking cars there.
With all this, where are all of these parking spaces that are on this gonna be taken up?
I mean, he uses quite a bit of them, right? I don't think you've like needed this.
So why can't you park a car where you're gonna have a parking lot?
He does.
And not park on this,
He does, I'm just saying if he got some extra cars or something for. Whatever, that maybe he had a little bit of an overflow, or maybe he had a couple more employees that day, or whatever the situation was. You know, all I'm saying is I don't need an answer now, would it be good at the time, would take that into
I got
consideration.
24 non-handicap accessible spots, so you're gonna have 25 vehicles there?
He's a pretty busy guy, that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
There's some cards there.
We don't have cars that sit around for any sort of period of time, but we are very busy to the point where we could have more than 25 cars at any. Like during the course of one day. If you come in like the evening, it wouldn't be like that, cause most people come, you know, before we close at 5 and pick up cars. But during like the morning and during the day, as we're moving cars in and out of the shop and waiting for parts and stuff, you know, we should have more than 25 cars.
I want the hole filled in before something happens. If we get rain and water. so-
Right, and I'd be throwing his in if I didn't get ready. So,
You're letting your permit expire, that's what got it. That is on you, then on town.
no, I still have. I guess one question I have.
Make sure you understand that you got red tag because you let your permit expire.
Was there
There's
any-
no hard feelings between anybody, anywhere,
No,
so you just keep saying you got red tag, but I just
No,
want you to
that's-
get your understanding why that happened.
I have a question,
Yeah.
back up. Did you build a house on 200 right outside of Trail Creek?
Yeah,
Did you let permits also expire on that house?
no,
I will go back and look, but I'm fairly certain that the landscaping.
no, to touch on that subject, there was an issue with that house was on wet. And that's like a 2.5 acre parcel, okay? And the house is designed on the only spot on the front parcel of that land that is not wetlands. The people that I was building the house for. Wanted their house in the woods, right? So to say they wanted like a
But
cabin.
did something expire that you were supposed to complete?
No, nothing expired.
And the occupancy permit was pulled out of that house, so it was a conditional occupancy because the landscaping was not completed.
And it
The
was not.
landscaping got completed before that expired.
Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, but to finish the conversation on that house. To finish the conversation on that parcel, the front yard where the landscaping was is all wetlands. They wanted to put the house back 200 feet, but they couldn't because that whole parcel is wetlands. That's why we didn't put it on the basement. Where the wetland line is like 10 feet from the house. So I think I went to the town council or the BZA or something to say, hey, all right, well, if you guys want me to dig up the wetlands, I'll do it at your discretion. Cause the code says to put sod all the way to the thing, so then I have to grade a yard. And then here we are putting sod in wetlands that someone doesn't wanna get wet feet every time they mow. You know, and the guy's like, man, it's, I don't know, but that's a whole.
So here's what I have, okay? If. Our board agrees, we give him until the next council meeting to fill that void. And get a permit for whatever you're doing over there,
That's fine,
and then you still have 30 days to finish the landscaping.
that's fine,
Okay, can we agree on that?
yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I thank you for when you're building our town, but we need to make sure we want those limits.
Yeah, and I just want everybody in the community to read the code of ethics and understand it, you know. Just the way that things were presented, I think there's a more professional way to present some of the information. Hey, Brian, looks like you're coming out on it or something, we may have to fine you $100 or whatever, since you went over there. There's a list of fines or something, okay, fine me $100, ask me how long, try to work with the people.
Okay,
That's all
well,
that
then, I mean, as a business professional, you should probably know when your permits expire. Or know that you might need to apply for an extension on something.
You know what's kind of weird about this is. The original permit isn't even a year old yet.
But you're conditional, it's a conditional permit because they granted it for you for
It's
occupancy.
a conditional occupancy permit, so that's kind of one of the gray areas, so like,
If it's not a gray area, if you don't wanna dig in there, this wouldn't be an issue.
but don't you
So the
see?
mistake is that we granted a conditional occupancy permit.
On our part.
We shouldn't have granted the occupancy permit until the landscaping was done. That's what it seems like to me.
No, but like, I guess.
Yeah, but everything was done on time by the builder because. We wanted to move in without a yard, so it had a date
Right,
on
I get
it,
that.
they finished my yard by the date, so all the money was released and everything was fine. You did not finish what you were supposed to finish.
Hypothetically speaking, okay, this, I don't want to.
30 days, no, no.
Can we?
Alright, I'm out of here, I'll see you guys.
Good, 30 days, thank you so much. Does anybody else have anything? Or do you want to go home? Thank you.
Welcome to adjourn the meeting.
Roll call meeting. Hold on, discussion, sorry.
It's just the same last time, somebody left and they were upset that they didn't get to speak.
Does anybody want to
They
speak?
didn't.
I will stay here all night.
Everybody, we're good.
Okay. I do apologize for those that have left because it's gone so long, and thank you for staying. Sorry for COVID. Roll call, I want you to do.
Hi.
Guys ordered everything else like. It's more like that. Everything really.
I would have maybe seen you, but our cars are broken this year, so let's just not talk to them. I'm very, very content when they're not broken, so. Yeah, but when they do, There's a repair shop in town now, so I'll come see you.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah.
I just say I'm sorry. My name's Jennifer, nice to meet you. Sorry you're going through all this. My family's very